Thank you. Thanks very much for coming in. First of all, for all of you that are joining the school this year, thanks again for last week, Introduction Week. Hope you all had a chance to see a bit of this fair city and some of the school in getting to know the place a little bit. This afternoon, following the past 2 days in this room, which have introduced each of the undergraduate programs, the design units in the undergraduate to the school, this afternoon session is an opportunity over 10 half-hour presentations for you all to get a sense of what each of the programs will be doing in the upcoming year. It's a day I very much recommend you enjoy throughout the afternoon. Dip in and out, get the occasional cup of coffee. The cakes are already upstairs for the afternoon, etc. And really spend the afternoon in here and get a chance to see what's going on in each of these different amazing grad programs. You will very quickly settle into, I guess some of you might already be doing this, settling into a course of studies that will be taking up a great deal of your time throughout the year in the dedicated studios and seminars and the different courses or programs that you've enrolled in. This is really a day for you to stand back and see a bit of that larger context of the graduate school at the AA. The roughly 40% of our 700 students in the student body who are in programs like you in the postgraduate level, in graduate courses run here, a chance for you to get a sense of what all those different programs are doing, what their agenda is for this year, what their briefs might be, what their particular areas of interest are, the support seminars and other materials that are sitting in those courses, all of which are available for you throughout the year to drop in and out on as work is being presented and discussed. Our directors have done a really good job working with all the teachers in each of the programs to put together something that's very difficult, a 25-minute summary of an entire academic year. It's a tough task. You will get the opportunity to do the inverse version of this at the end of your courses, of course, when you will be standing up in front of an audience of this sort of size and presenting the work of your design portfolios, also having to summarize the work of an entire year or even longer for those of you in some of the courses in a short period of time. And of course, what they're going to be trying to do today is to not just give you some facts and some specific things about what makes this year distinct from last year's experience or what the agenda is going forward, but kind of more importantly, what the learning model of each program is. Learning models at the AA, how people learn architecture, is really what drives thinking about architecture in this place. How it is you all do what you do. How you produce not just projects, but ideas and knowledge about architecture, the city, territories, landscape, performance, information, media, all of those things around architectural culture today, which we as a school ultimately is produced by the work you all do. That's what you all have been invited in this year to carry forward with super high standards and expectations. You need a chair? Chair over here? Okay, so I'll keep the intro short here. A couple of small technical things. Any returning students that might be in the audience, any of you in phase 2, are there any phase 2s here? I'm going to guess they're all next door, beavering away already at work. As you see your phase 2s, as you get a chance to meet those people in phase 2 of their course of studies and some of the programs, remind them they need to get to the registrar's office and be registered for them to carry forward in the way that they are. I think we've seen some of those students, not yet all of them. A reminder also that as the year settles into its working routine, which really happens later this week and next week as you settle into the weekly cycle of studio work and seminar meetings, as the school starts to settle down over the next couple of weeks, what I do is sit down with students from each part of the school to talk about your early experience here at the AA, give me some feedback on what's working and not working. I do that sort of in the first half, middle of October, so I'll get a chance to meet all of you further at that point. The other thing to mention also, just sort of standing back slightly from the courses that will be talked about today, is get now very familiar with reading through the material, the information that's produced about the school, our events list that I've already mentioned to you all at least once before. Get used to reading that so that you can see what juries, what presentations, what special events might be on in the school and come down and participate in those. Get very used to knocking on doors and opening them to go into a jury or a presentation of work that might be in a studio or in one of our bookable rooms throughout the AA. You got to take the responsibility of doing that here, and we make it tricky because these buildings are not straightforward in terms of getting around and getting to know. So once you've memorized the floor plans a bit, just get very used to inviting yourself into those presentations. Watch how architecture is presented and discussed and talked about. And I promise you, from foundation and first year all the way up through intermediate diploma and the other grad programs, there'll be plenty to learn alongside all the brilliant things that the programs are going to be showing this afternoon in the summary of what's happening within the different courses. That's it, really, in terms of an overview. You all are part of a remarkable generation and era of what's happening in architectural culture. I really, truly believe this in terms of what's happened even at schools like the AA over the last 15 years, as we've gone from a 20th century vocational model of being a place where people came in and spent 5 years and then ran away from for the rest of their lives to become fantastic architects. That model is dramatically shifting, and you all are literally the embodiment of that reality. Look what you've all done, despite all of your prior academic accomplishment and experience and achievement, despite your past professional experience, all of the busy lives you are all leading around the world. What's the one thing you've chosen to do? To drop everything, come to the world's most expensive city, spend a year wrestling with some of the most complex ideas, design platforms, design technologies, and culture of a place like this for the simple belief that it's going to continue to drive you forward. That's what's remarkable about the graduate school at the AA today. It is the embodiment of architecture shifting over into a field of knowledge and expertise and the production of knowledge, which we all now recognize, as you are literally with your careers right now, in how you organize your lives. So thank you for proving to the world the need for that. The idea that we will all continue to learn in various ways, in various unexpected ways, at different points in our careers. That's really what these grad programs that you'll be seeing today are offering. They're offering it in very different little windows and worlds. Unlike the undergraduate units that have been presenting at this lectern in the last 2 days, which are talking about very strict agendas and positions in relation to early stages of architectural academic life, what you're dealing with in these grad programs are often highly advanced, highly specialized, quite distinct forms of architectural knowledge and projects and practices. That too is a fantastic, interesting transformation of architectural life. It's one that still doesn't make a whole lot of sense, nor something that we should take for granted as an inevitability, but it's a thing to challenge and inquire as you go forward. But that's in effect another thing that you're entering into with the decisions you all have made to go into these different programs. That said, and the only thing as the head of this school that I'd like to emphasize in standing back slightly is the genuine need and commitment on your part to see what's going on in these other worlds. I know these programs very well. I spent 8 years in one of these programs, hardly looking up from the desks of my students and their screens and their other models and things. It's hard sometimes to stand back from that work, but I think it's absolutely crucial for you to do it in a school like this where you've got such a range of interesting different kinds of projects and discussions and debates on offer. Do that throughout the year. That won't be emphasized as much in these introductions today, because these introductions are about sucking you into these worlds and you making them yours, and that's brilliant and absolutely important to how we teach and learn architecture here. But it's absolutely done with the belief that you will nonetheless know that at 6 o'clock next Thursday night, this person that's flying in from Singapore to present this project that you've only heard a little bit about will be in this room as a part of the public program, and it's part of your responsibility to find a way to get down here and see those other kinds of alternatives that are already on offer in different parts of the school. So please, just remember that throughout the day. I'm going to finish with that point then and really just say now, forget all of that for a second, stand back, enjoy what's on the screen, as I have to always do here, and I think it's my only official duty as head of school. If you could take out your version of this and put it on lecture hall mode, which I hope will make it silent for the next 5 hours. Your attention wants to be on this screen and not all the little ones in your pockets. which I can't imagine how many there are collectively in the room. But please, thank you for coming in for this. And with this introduction, which will finish after the 10 presentations, and as I say, try and get a chance to see some of all of those presentations. At the end of the day, scheduled at 5:30, a much less formal event, which is just getting everybody here with all the various program directors and teachers together for a drinks session, which is a terrible word, informal drinks session. Cocktails downstairs upstairs in the second rear presentation space, which is nice. More room up there, more air, and I think you'll enjoy it. So enjoy the afternoon, you guys, and thank you for coming in.